Hello everyone. How's it going? This is going to be a much different style of video. Clearly, I am not at an amusement park. I'm just on a local hiking trail. But I wanted to talk all things Japan because at the time of recording, in just 5 days, Meg and I will be taking off to Japan for 2.5 weeks. It still hasn't hit. I don't think it's going to hit until the plane actually leaves. Surreal. I still can't believe this is happening. But I just want to, September is going to be all about Japan. I am bringing my laptop on the trip. I don't know how much I'm going to get done editing-wise. I'd like to get some videos out while I'm there, but we shall see. We shall see. So in the next 3 videos, I thought I'd just break down everything that we're doing on this trip. And I thought it would be a good way to start talking about how this trip came together. So we gotta rewind back about 1.5 years when we were in Colombia, where Megan and I, obviously we were with Sarah and Taylor from Coaster Studios, and we asked them, hey, whenever you guys make the call to go to Japan, we'd be interested. And they're like, oh really, that's really cool, because I knew they were gonna go at some point. I'm thinking 2025, maybe 2026. So just a few months later, they're like, hey, I think we're going in September of next year, which is now this year, 2024. They're like, oh, really? Oh, crap, let's go. And they're like, of course, are you in? And you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, we're in. And really, just like 3 or 4 months later, it was kind of official. We were already thinking about itinerary, what parks we wanted to hit. And then I think in January of this past year is when we started booking things. So we've really been keeping this secret for a very, very long time. I have known that this was definitely happening for a good 8 to 9 months now. So the fact that it's actually here, holy crap. So obviously it's going to be the 4 of us. We'll also be going with our friends Matt and Tyler, who you saw the very last review of last year at Big Thunder Mountain. And also our friend Dan. I think his YouTube channel is Coasting with Dan. A good group of 7 people. And I'm honestly, I love that number for a group. It's, it's small enough where it's not too chaotic. You don't have to keep track of so many people, but it's also large enough where I don't even want to say when we encounter some issue, whether it's, getting lost, figuring out the trains, language barrier issues, at least one of us, I think, will keep a cool head and we'll be able to get through things, together. So it's going to be a fantastic group. It's happening in less than a week. Holy crap. So what are we doing when we get to Tokyo? And yes, indeed, Tokyo is the first stop on this trip. And pretty much just under half of the trip will be in the Tokyo area, which is great. Well, that's a good amount of time to, get used to the culture, get used to our surroundings before we're, more mobile and taking trains pretty much every day. The fact that we're staying pretty much in one place for just under a week will be really, really good. Megan and I will be landing at around 3:30 p.m. Tokyo time, which I think is a good time because our bodies will be at 2 a.m., which, we've all stayed up till 2 a.m. before, so I don't think we'll be tired, and hopefully we do sleep a little bit on the plane. But I think we really just got to survive the rest of that day, another 5-6 hours, hopefully get a good night's rest. And I'm hoping we're good to go jet lag-wise the next year. We'll see. We'll see. But I think that night we're just going to, obviously we'll be very tired. Just hang out downtown. Maybe we'll go to Tokyo Skytree. I should mention this is Megan's second time to Japan. First time in 10 years. So she'll be a little more used to it than I am. This is obviously my first trip to Japan and Asia in general. But after that hopeful good night's sleep, our first full day, we'll be going to our first park, which will be Yomiuri Land, I believe about 45 minutes north of downtown. They're home to 4 roller coasters, and I do want to say, all I really know about these parks are their roller coaster lineups. I have not looked into what they have for dark rides, drop towers, water rides. I've purposely, not researched too much. Just so I'm surprised when I'm there. So all I know is that they have 4 coasters, notably a ride called Bandit, which is a gigantic, almost mile-long, 160 feet tall, 60 mile per hour Togo coaster. Togo is like the famous manufacturer from Japan. There's only one in the US, which I've been on. It's the Big Apple coaster in Vegas, but it's been 11 years since I've been on that. So it'll be nice to check out Togo in the country Togos are supposed to be at. They also have like a pretty new 2021 Gerstlauer suspended coaster. It's like half indoors, half outdoors. That looks kind of cool. I think there's also a Gerstlauer spinning coaster and a kiddie coaster. I'm hoping to get on all four. I really want to get on all four, which I'll explain more when I talk about the next park that we'll be going to that night, which will be Tokyo Dome City, right downtown, right near the Tokyo Dome, the famous baseball stadium where the Yomiuri Giants play, I believe. Only 2 coasters there. And I want to ride, this is the only demand I'm going to make of our group, I want to ride their Gerstlauer indoor coaster, another indoor Gerstlauer coaster, first. Because if I get all 4 at Yomiuri Land and this coaster, that'll set up Thunder Dolphin, their massive 250-foot plus Intamin, 81 miles per hour. It is the second tallest and fastest coaster in all Japan. Huge Intamin right in the middle of the city. That will be my 500th coaster. Oh, what an amazing milestone that would be to get Thunder Dolphin for 500. So obviously if it doesn't work out, it is what it is. But if I can get Thunder Dolphin to be 500, whew, I can't wait. I can't wait for that ride. It looks incredible. They just got new trains last year. The views should be great of the city. Very, very excited for that. So that's just day 1. That's just day 1. Day 2 will actually be very, very action-packed. Less so on coasters, more like excursion-based activities. Not sure if I'll do videos from there. Maybe I'll do like a mashup. But that morning, we're actually going to go Mario Karting in the streets of Tokyo. I don't know if you dress up. I've seen people in costume. I don't know if that's what they make you wear. You have to come prepared. No idea. But that looks wild. It looks like a lot of fun. Then we're going to check out a very, very small park called Hanayashiki. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Just home to one roller coaster called Roller Coaster. But it's notable in that not only was it the first ever Togo, not only is it the oldest roller coaster in all of Japan, it's the oldest roller coaster in all of Asia, 1953. So if things don't work out the day before, this might be my 500th coaster, which still would be really cool. It looks really, really old school for Japan. Anyway, so that'll be a quick stop. Then we're going to a capybara cafe. It's like a coffee and tea shop where there's live capybaras that you just hang out with for a half hour. Very, very hard reservations to get. Took me 2 tries, but finally got it. So that'll be fun. Then that night, we're going to a place called Tokyo Joyopolis. They have like what looks to be like a bunch of like indoor, like virtual reality attractions, but they also are home to a roller coaster. It's a small Gerstlauer spinning coaster that has an inversion. That'll be very odd. Then finally, one more thing that night, we're going to a museum art display thing called Team Labs. There's actually 2 of these in Japan. One of them is called Borderless. The one we're going to is called Planets. It's supposed to be like this insane, like sensory experience museum. You walk through the whole museum barefoot, which is crazy because you like walk through water at some point. I'm actually very, very excited for this. This might be honestly my most anticipated like non-coaster activity that we're doing in Tokyo. Can't wait for that. And that's just day 2. Day 3 and 4 and 5, 3 days is going to be at my most anticipated parks of the entire trip. And that's Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea, along with Fantasy Springs. For those that have gotten to know me through this channel, obviously I'm a roller coaster enthusiast now. That has not always been the case. I am also a Disney parks enthusiast. That has always been the case since I was 5 years old, 30 years ago. And to get to Tokyo Disneyland, that's going to be insane. Obviously, I'm very excited for Big Thunder Mountain, but the coasters are like the least important aspect of Tokyo Disneyland. I'm excited for the dark rides, which they have what looks to be an insane Beauty and the Beast dark ride. I have purposely not watched any POVs of these rides. I don't want to be spoiled. And then, of course, the brand new Fantasy Springs has 3 new dark rides. One of them, Peter Pan, which I think Peter Pan's Flight was just my first ride ever, period. So to see a modern version of Peter Pan will be really cool. The new Tangled ride, I'll probably cry during the lantern scene because, oh my God, the emotion of that is going to be incredible. And then the new Frozen ride, which I've said before on the channel, Frozen inspired me to take a trip to Norway. So to see that version of a Frozen ride, it's going to be, Tokyo Disney Sea, from all accounts, is one of the best pure theme parks in the world. It looks insane. I'm so happy we're spending 3 days there. We get to take our time. We won't feel rushed. Oh man, that's gonna be amazing. Expect hopefully a really good video from there. And then finally, our last day in the Tokyo area, we'll be going to a park called Tobu Zoo, which I also believe is home, similar to Yomiuri Land, 4 roller coasters. 2 of note, one of them being a ride called Kawasemi, which is an Intamin Megalite. If you're familiar with a ride called Piraten in Denmark, it's the same model. And everyone says Piraten is one of the best, like low-key, one of the better roller coasters in all of Europe. But I've heard this version not quite as good. But it's my first Intamin Megalite. And then they also have one of just 3 wooden coasters in all of Japan called Regina 2, which actually just recently reopened. It's a huge wooden roller coaster. I think over 4,000 feet tall. 4,000 feet in length. And it looks really good. And I think they just got new Millennium Flyer trains as well. So that'll be it for Tokyo. And then we finally leave the city and start our journey on a lot of trains. So that is just part 1 of our trip. That's everything we're doing in the Tokyo area. The next video, which will be released, I think, probably in 2 days, will be the second part of our trip, which is going to be more the bucket list amusement parks, the roller coasters that us enthusiasts go to Japan for, notably 2 of them that I'll talk about in the next video. So hope you've enjoyed this kind of rambling of the itinerary. Like I said, not a video I'm used to filming, but hope you've made it through all of this. I'm very excited, guys. See you next time to talk about part 2 of my epic Japanese trip.